In the past few years, we've had secessionists talk about dividing. We've had politicians talk about marginalization. We've had some people argue that they might be the Islamization of the country Nigeria. We've had several accounts and opinions on the diversity of Nigeria. For whatever reason, let's say you're just coming into the country, you've never heard of Nigeria before. You should know that Nigeria is so blessed with an abundance of cultures and traditions. In the northern part of Nigeria, you would still find different cultures, irrespective of how the similarities are there. In the south, you would find different cultures, even though the similarities are there. Same with all the other geopolitical zones. However, people will tell you, for the sake of politics, or I don't know if it's for the sake of ethnicity, that we are divided. But you know, what has recently happened, which I will make reference to in a minute or two, has made me realize that all of those talk of division, all of those talk of disunity, are just talks to heat up the polity, so to say. And I'll tell you why I feel so. And I'll tell you why I think Nigerians are more united than these analysts will tell us. When there is a football match, if the Nigerian team is winning or losing, there is unity in the feelings, either good or bad. When it is music and a Nigerian is winning an accolade at the international scene, either you are a fan or not, everybody celebrates. Anthony Joshua comes to mind. When he was the world champion at the boxing sports, or in the boxing sports, Nigerians celebrated him. Same with Israel Adesanya. Nigerians celebrated him, irrespective of religion, ethnicity, or geopolitical zones. Nigerians came together in unison, in unity, in togetherness to celebrate these wonderful Nigerians flying the Nigerian flag so high. And recently, another individual comes to mind. I'm talking about Hilda Baci, the chef who for 100 hours cooked different meals and broke a world record. What a wonderful achievement, I should say. But that's not my focus. My focus is on how Nigerians from different parts came out, whether it was physically, whether it was on social media, whether it was on traditional media. People came out in their numbers, irrespective of ethnic nationality, irrespective of religion, irrespective of geopolitical zone. They did not zone their congratulations. They did not zone their celebrations. They did not zone their happy feelings, like we are now seeing as we approach the 10th National Assembly. No, that didn't play out. They did not say it's the turn of the South-South. They did not say it's the turn of the North-West. There was unity. Even from the people I believe who are envious, people came out in their numbers to celebrate Hilda Baci. And for me, there is a moral lesson there. That this talk of division is nothing but a mere political rhetoric. The Igbo man is my brother. The Hausa man is my brother as well. Same with the Fulani man. Same with the Kalabari man, the Okrika man, and all the other men from different tribes that exist in Nigeria. It is sad that we are only divided when it comes to the personal interest of some politicians. I like to think, oh, it's our turn. It's our turn, so they say, when it comes to the political conversations. But when they get there, do they remember? Do they remember you, me, him, she? Do they remember any one of us? Do they remember who they are really representing? And we need to put that into a situation when we're a big divided nation. These people, when they get there, oh, it's the turn of the Northwest. Do they really represent? As a matter of fact, when we look at the poverty indices in the country, you would want to agree with me that a large portion of the vulnerable people in society are in the northern part of the country. But the northern part of the country have had more people leading this country. Which brings us back to the conversation. Do they really represent you and I? Or are they there for personal political ambition? We are able to face political rhetoric from the reality. We will continue to be in the hands of these people who are purveyors of knowledge is divided than ever. But I disagree. And that's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Just as you are entitled to your own opinion, which I will hear very soon by a coming couple of seconds. But really, if there's anything you should glean from what I just said, it is that it happened in society that bedevil our existence. You know, things happen in society that are challenging. So they are cultists, they are kidnappers, they are people who are out there ensuring that you and I believe. Even those things happen. It's not nationally or even the political zones. I just thought I'd let you know. I'll be quick after that. Open lines. Remember, you can join conversation. Remember, you can join conversation. Stay tuned. After commercial, I'll take your calls. You will cast your mind back to 2015, like, or towards the end 2015, you would remember the narrative. Oh, they want to Islamize Nigeria. Those were the political figures who said or champion narrative. The people that said want to Islamize Nigeria. What am I saying? I'm saying that we need, the president has, we have become politically mature and conscious. So we need to use that and begin and begin to differentiate between those who are champions for the societal group.
Let me tell you, Nigeria is not divided. Mostly, you know why they are? If you don't achieve, they not because they will say that they are for the person for the actually they don't come we've seen a lot of things. Anybody. I feel like they have to think themselves. If I shut up in River State, really, when somebody knows of the person, he says to my I can run with because you could not have in training, you could not teach. If I keep telling like that, which is not good. You cannot be okay. Somebody is good. Soon something has to move this country. And for we to that together, make sure that we are ready for our world. I have achieved even to out the good son why this country is like equally and thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Robin from 8 calling. Let's talk, Robin.
Yeah, thank you. Ask the question. Now they are in Abuja holding what's they call induction and it's a problem. And I think that we should be wiser our people so that we don't run ourselves against our friends and our brothers.
All right.
God bless you.
Thank you very much, Robin. Daniel from Transamadi is calling. Hello, Daniel.
Yeah, good afternoon, Canada.
Yeah, Daniel, welcome.
I understand the parts of your arguments.
Okay.
But for me, I think in Nigeria, there is a lot of division.
Okay, tell me about this.
Probably 60% of it is caused by political elite for their selfish reasons. And some of their policies is just to favor their region.
Okay.
That's just the truth. Some policies of the government and the people in government is all about their region, where they come from.
So when you look at that policy, Daniel,
you know that these are
it brings us back to the political conversation I talked about. So if people in government only, according to you, look at their regions or where they are from, it then is a political thing. It's not because we are divided naturally or by default. It's just what they do in politics.
The truth is that as long as the war is and man rules in politics, some of these policies design how the society will think.
All right.
The perception of societies will go towards the kind of political structure they have. A man cannot do without politics because the politics and the policies of government determines how a man lives in his society.
Okay.
So the way these people structure Nigeria, that is why it looks like the ordinary Nigeria will be divided based on the political policies and ideas of the government. In some certain extent, maybe to the higher percent, it is more of their selfish. And when it comes to money sharing, they become one.
Okay.
But if you look at it, probably 20% of it is more of the policies of tribalism. And that is where I come in. If our leaders will begin to look at Nigeria as a Nigeria, we won't have this division.
All right,
because for us to be united, they have to start from leadership. That's why leadership is everything. Leadership design everything in any country. If you fail in leadership, you are fair in society. If the leader begin to look at Nigeria, not because this man is an Igbo man, or because this man is a Yoruba man, or because this person is an Hausa man, they will go for competence for Nigeria. They will have a better society. And believe me, the way people will think will completely structure in the unity of Nigeria.
All right.
There are some discussions you see from a child today, 5 years, 10 years discussion. You see tribalism in speech. And you wonder, where is he learning that from? That is because the society in which you live, there are these discussions going on between a tribal statement due to the failure of leadership. So if we get it right from the leadership, of course, the society will take in that direction.
All right, then.
That are completely different from sports position and political position. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Daniel, for your time and your contribution. Richard from Adajudge.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, Canada.
Yeah, Richard, good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Yeah, I am Richard. I'm calling from Adajudge. And I also want to, differ from your thoughts.
All right, you're entitled to your opinion.
The division tendency in the country Nigeria. The truth is that we cannot deny the fact that politics is playing a major role to the division we are talking about in Nigeria. because every human activities is regulated by politics. So no human being cannot do without politics. So everything we do has political undertone to it.
All right.
But the division in Nigeria we are talking about is seen everywhere, more especially in the present administration that is about to end. The predecessors of Buhari, from Obasanjo to Jonathan before he came in, they did their best to see how they can unite this country to become a one formidable country. But Buhari came in and overruled everything. He spoiled everything.
Can I ask you a question?
He spoiled everything
Richard,
that we have
in
common.
Richard, can I ask you a question now? Let's say
I'm listening, sir.
Let's say you have a business, right? You're doing a business. Do you bring in people that you know to run your business with you, or do you bring?
Sorry, I didn't hear you very well, sir.
I said, let's assume you're running a business. This conversation is a business. You're running a business. Do you bring in people that you are very conversant with, people you know, into the business to run it with you, or do you bring strangers? Do you bring people who are competent, or do you employ people based on where they are from? That's a personal question. I want you to answer that question for me.
I understand your question. You know, it will also mean a slap to some persons to believe that, in fact, to the entire country to believe that competency is just from one side of the
No. I've not said competency.
When you talk about competency, it is only a particular region in this country that are competent in handling the country. Then other people are incompetent. And now you can see where the competency of a particular region has led this country to.
All right.
It has led us to a high level of corruption. It has led us to, high level of insecurity. A lot of lives have been lost because we feel and believe that competency is just is based on a particular region in this country. So now, I also beg to disagree that the people that these people call competent are competent in any wise, because from A to Z have in one way or the other failed this country.
All right.
So the truth is this: I don't know how we are going to, but the country is more divided now than ever.
All right. All right.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
Work on how to, reunite this country by bringing in merit, by bringing in. So, when you talk of competence, you are talking about competency.
All right, then.
Until we get that, my dear, every other thing we enjoy, maybe we'll have a boxer who is from Nigeria who did well, or UFC, whatever, and all those things. Like the young lady that cooked well. We may rejoice with her based on emotion and all the rest of that, no matter what happens.
Richard, I would have to let you go now. I would have to let you go now.
In uniting this country.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Emmanuel from Ada Judges calling now. Emmanuel, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker.
All right, welcome.
The analysis you do in respect of they did it very well. And in some of the analysis, we have three major problems who are causing division in Nigeria. But I'm going to dwell on one. And the one I want to dwell is the politics. It's just like one cause said that if you come in terms of dividing of that is sharing of formula money, all the positions become one. But in terms of competency, if you select one competent from maybe Edo or Rivers, they say the South, they are marginalizing other side. It is a politician that is going to say they are marginalizing other side. But there's no of us people in that position. So therefore, we need to bring somebody there. It becomes a problem. If one side of the position, one of the teams are going well, and they bring in 3 people who can handle things, the same those politicians will go and tell the people that, look, this people have started again. They want to marginalize us. They don't want to give us our water. Then they will mobilize the youth to start agitating on that. And when they call the politician back and say, okay, we've heard what you have said, and they will share the thing between themselves, they will shut up the mouth. They will not even go back to the incident to tell them that this thing, they have resolved it.
True.
Look at what played out in this election. You see, where a governor or a state are having party A, and the same time agitating or campaigning for party B, which did not belong to them. And nothing, they did nothing to them. And after that, any other common man who do that, they say is putting anti-party politics. But them itself, who are the top, are doing it and nobody query them. If you talk about the international, when they go to international, they will bring them and put my one side politicians and tell them that this is the leak or this is the week of my business and this is what you're going to do. They are the ones that are reviewing the secret to international and making them submerge other people, common masses here in Nigeria. Politician is our problem. If all our politicians can call themselves to question, just like what you analyze in the northern side, the northern people, they have been ruling this country for long. And if you want to talk about the so-called poverty and the people that common people, they are so much in north side. And besides, the northerners have been holding the strategic position in this Nigeria. So, you see, which means that all the things they did, they all doing it for their own self, their own self,
all right,
not for the masses.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Imam from Ado George. Now we have Okonkwo from Rumukuta. Good afternoon. Let's talk.
Good afternoon, Nigeria Info.
Yeah, welcome then.
Yeah, I disagree with your argument.
Of course. I'm listening to you. Are you there?
What is called what is called the indigenous and non-indigenous in this country. Number 2, are you aware that when you go for employment in any parastatal or in any government agency, the interest would be to know where you're from, your state of origin. Are you aware that if I leave my house now and go to Delta State or Bayelsa State for university admission, are you aware that my school fees will be different from the school fees of the students from either Bayelsa or Delta University, because I'll be seen as a non-indigenous? Are you aware that Federal Character Commission law has been violated, where positions in this country supposed to be shared equally? But that is the content of Federal Character Commission. Are you aware that it doesn't work that way? We are completely divided. And I don't even think that the division will ever be brought together again or be reconciled. We are totally, completely divided. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Okonkwo. Zion from GRA is calling in. Zion, good afternoon.
We are divided.
Okay.
We are. As long as I'm from Bayelsa State, I can't contest election here in Rivers State. We are divided. As long as I want to buy property or a land here, I go through a scrutiny. They tell me it's bush, machine ground, or whatever. I am divided here. I bought a land. I've lived here for years. Yes, the truth is this. Without this division,
Zion, are you there?
Our division is so deep that we are just managing ourselves.
Zion, can I ask you a question? I've been itching to ask this question. Now, you've talked about state of origin. You've talked about, all the things you've mentioned. But is that really what divides us? Really? Is that really what divides us?
Those are the things that divides us.
Really?
Nothing more.
So when I meet you as a Bayelsan, do I treat you less of a human as a Bayelsan? Do I indiscriminate against you as a Bayelsan? Do I think of you as inferior as a Bayelsan? One. But when we play politics, and then you are not for me, and then I am from a region, you are from another, do I look at you as inferior? Do I indiscriminate against you?
Even we as Christians,
okay,
if you are not worshiping with Mr. Zion's church, you are inferior.
Oh, okay.
If you are worshiping with Kalada, inferior. This thing is between us now. It's a normal thing. Do you also know we have narrowed it down to the point of marriage? If I'm coming to marry your daughter from your own tribe, you will give me a list worth millions of naira. But if your own son is coming to marry somebody from your own community, among you people, there is no problem. People can maneuver it. Are you aware? Do you also how come amidst all the knowledgeable people that have university graduates, mechanical engineering, this and that we have, none of them is taking their rightful place in that organization? Now consider this aspect. Policy making. We have what we call, I think it should be in section 14, the federal character principle. Are we managing it? Before we embedded that particular item, it's an item, federal character principle. Why did we bring it there? To tell you that even the Constitution is aware we are divided. So the Constitution tried to amend it and bring one from Bayelsa, bring one from Kaduna, bring one from Lagos. That is the implication. Until we go along to abrogate some of these issues, where as a Christian, I can only go to the mosque and pray, no problem. Where as a Christian, and you say we are not divided? We are so divided, I don't even love ourselves. We are only managing ourselves. But the thing that I'm getting a contract to you that I want to eat, we can relate. But the moment that contract is over, my brother, nothing. We need to go back to the drawing board.
All right.
And even, look at the concept of the ISD they brought. I thought they brought it to come and integrate.
And that you also understand that I'm from Bayelsa. That's what diversity is. Because whether you like it or not, there will be differences. There will be differences. As long as 2 or 3 or more people live in a particular space, there will be differences. And so you should understand that differences does not necessarily mean division. And of course, there is that conversation that we should abolish the conversations of state of origin or the narrative of state of origin. That. But that's not what makes us divide. Because in certain states, people who are not from that state have been in one political position or the other. Lagos State is a good example. People who were not from those states, a couple of them, few of Lagos, they held certain political positions. They held certain political positions. So, but when you go to UK to school, you get to pay a different school fees or tuition fees. In reality, that's how they feed to raise funds for the betterment of the society, not necessarily because they think that you are not of class or something, or you're not to your inferior, or they're thinking division. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. So I think we'd look at diversity and division. Understand that they may have huge differences. I read some messages now. Let's see. This says, Canada, why is it that it's only the Northerners that are top managers in NNPC? From the inception of NNP, can you give me the list of NNPC and EMD? I worked for NPA. Why is it that in the post from the North that lets us the truth? We deeply divided, like Diane said. Okay. I don't know, frankly. Can you tell me who the DMD was before the current one? If you can, then really before Kiari. Who was there? Interesting. Anyways, move on. This one says, until our leaders against nepotism continue to prioritize ethnicity, this division of society that we aren't getting things right. We Onaka. It says Canada state government destroys bias property with which were rivers, you're talking bias now, was ceded to Barca due to creation. Is that diversity or clearly vision? Or Gali Ptakot is asking. Well, you and I know. You that sent in that message, you and I know there is something political. Anyways, I'm not going to go more than that. This one says, good day, Kada. Those who cried out and still plans to Islamize Nigeria are on point. It was a cry that them on check. They feared the outcome. Go to Nigeria federal government outfit today and tell me your use. What are you saying? Official language is English language. Anyway, I don't know your message, Newton Ikure. How to deal with electing the right leaders to be better? Pax asking. But even me, I don't have the answer to that. Soki Fubara Botakit, talking is not mere political rhetoric, bro. We're bold enough to say the reality. So sometimes we just paint fine colors off. Let's try occupying the position and see that a lot of things want to play in university students' election. We are united in entertainment, but you dance music as much as it's cool. Get excited to listen as much as it is fun. Oh, you just made my Pinky Fubara. Now I've said that politics is what divided us. You agree that in entertainment we're together, in sports we're together, in music, in every other thing we're together. But when it comes to sharing, we become politically correct. I mean, think about you. Some of your best friends, your favorite business partner, look at it. Some of you, your spouse, or your soon-to-be, is not from your tribe. It's not from your geopolitical zone for some of you. But somehow, you guys use that diversity, those differences to make it work. And I'm wondering, at point, is it division or is it diversity? I'm just thinking out loud anyways. Others, why can't we remove state of origin for sins? And we're saying the same thing. We're saying but let's take the score. Missed it. 93 Nigerian info.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Thank you for having me on from Jerry.
All right, Douglas from Jerry.
You see, it's a sheer manipulation if we tell from the fact just based on our sentiment or emotion. I can't argue about something that has been since time immemorial. It has always been there. Sharing the admission quota, or that indigenous and non-indigenous. By your opinion, you're making reference to now, you understand? Based on political antecedents. And I want to say that I agree with you because it is by the actions of our political elites, they manipulate us deliberately to towards acting and thinking towards how they do, how they want, how they respect. For example, the recent demolition of the Government House, if you think keenly or observed by conversations now, you will see that most people who had made the governor, many of them, I'm sorry to mention that they are not against it. You know why? Because it's directly against interest. They don't like the governor came. They don't support everything he says. But before, whatever he does, this is what you have become a bad person. See, this is what these are political elites are making us feel like. Those things that we want them to say to us, but when they are us, we don't even want to add common sense, whatever they're doing. Look at the lives of Donald. We can mention them and giving hands. This since 2015 called it an Islamic party. The fact that the government are aware, telling that people who are forming it, like are able to take the country job. And many people go around them today talking for them. Then today, look at they are the people now dancing in the APC more than even the right honorable Chibike.
All right.
Which some of these political
let's have summarize.
Okay, thank you.
No, summarize. I said summarize. If you have any, all right, thank you. But I do. But before I go and read, someone says, my Katu Baru from Kaduna. That's Franklin. You should talk about NC. But sorry, who was just educate me, please. Who was Ibe Kachuku? Ikachuku, where is he from? Who was he in the NPC? I just want to know. I'm sorry. You said all of the previous directors or the GMs or whatever in the NND have been from the north. I'm just asking questions. Maxi Gayosi, who there May 99, 2003. Where is he from? Who was he? Professor Funshaw Polokon, November 23 to September 2007. Who was he? Who was he at the time? I could go on and on. Anyways, let's move on. It's time for me to go for a quick break of that business.